Hello, friends, and welcome into another weekly update from our staff and team here at North Carolina Family Policy Council alongside Jerry Royal today. I'm Mitch, and this is our weekly update video for the week ending August 22nd. It's been a busy summer. There's been a lot going on. For those that hope for a quiet summer, I think you have not gotten what you wished for. And there have been a lot of things that have happened, not only in the legislature, but around the state and our nation this past summer. One of those things, Jerry, that we've paid close attention to over the years, the organization and ministry has paid attention to, is opportunity scholarships and education choice and freedom. Jerry, something that was part of the one big beautiful bill, President Trump's agenda in this his second terms, was ECCA. What is ECCA?
Okay. What this is, and as you mentioned, as far as school choice, it's usually been a state effort.
Yes.
This is a federal effort to help with the educational freedom efforts. And what it means is there's going to be a tax credit, not a tax deduction, of up to $1,700 that individuals can make to organizations. They're scholarship granting organizations that are going to be created. Money can be contributed to those. And then, of course, people need to, if you owe tax, you can offset that with this tax credit up to $1,700. It can be carried over if you don't use it up in 1 year. But the estimates were in the debate in the legislature. Some people said 25 billion, some said as much as 50 billion.
It's a fairly wide delta.
It's pretty big. Either way, that is going to make a big impact in the school choice efforts across the country for this new tax credit to go into effect.
So a tax credit of up to $1,700 that
right.
people would give to one of these scholarship granting organizations or SGOs, and then they would receive that money back on their taxes at the end of the year?
That's what would happen when they're filing their tax return. If they owe taxes and there's amount owed, it'd be offset by a credit.
The lights are on and off in the building right now. We're going to keep rolling through the video. Lots of fun things happen around our office at times.
Continuing with that, the way this program is going to work is states elect to participate.
Yes.
And it can be varying with the state government set up. It can be a governor. In North Carolina, it could have been the governor. We actually, the way our government's set up, our legislature took the action.
They moved.
They passed a bill that would elect North Carolina's participation. The governor vetoed the bill. He said, as you had mentioned before,
yes,
he's supportive of school choice, but he's not ready in the current state of this bill to move ahead with it. So this is one of the things we're looking at this summer.
Yes.
Is the legislature at some point and coming back to override that veto.
So the ECCA Act will not go into effect until 2027.
That's correct.
There's some time for clarification to get directives from the federal government. The governor, as you said, has vetoed this bill, HB 87, passed by the General Assembly. So now we just have to wait to see if the House and Senate can garner the votes, get the votes for a veto override of what the governor has done for this bill.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we'll keep you updated on this and so many other things that we're paying attention to as the General Assembly comes back in about once a month over the next couple of months through the remainder of this year. We've got some upcoming dinner galas that I'm really excited about. We've got one in Charlotte coming up on October the 9th and one in Winston-Salem on November the 13th. So if you're listening to this right now, you can go down to the link at the bottom and you can find out more information about how you can be at one of these two or both of these, because we're going to have two different speakers for both of these. I'm excited about the October event when we have Brent Hansen, who's nationally known author and radio personality. He has written a book that our staff is going through in our devotion time right now, but will be, I think, the feature of a lot of what his remarks will be about in his keynote at the Charlotte dinner on October the 9th. And the theme is unoffendable. What does it mean, Jerry, to be unoffendable?
We, of course, are living in a time where people go, wait a minute, there's no such thing.
Yeah.
Because what we typically see is a whole lot of people from whatever perspective being offended.
Yes.
And this is what's wonderful about the message he is bringing. It's focused on God's grace and forgiveness. And for us as Christians, not just obviously in the world of public policy, in our everyday life, in our families, our workplace, everywhere, is what does it mean for us to let God work in our lives to extend his grace and forgiveness towards others, not to hold unforgiveness and to be offended. And I have a right to stay offended. And I think it's going to be a very encouraging and challenging message. And he also has a wonderful wit. So the combination is going to, I think, be great.
Well, it fits into our theme this year of aiming higher and what that means to aim higher, especially in the public arena and in civil discourse and the way we not just interact with each other on a day-to-day basis, but even on that political and policy landscape, how people can agree to disagree and how people can work together to find commonality and solutions for the problems that plague the families, not just of our nation, but families here in North Carolina. And another amazing speaker is going to be with us on November the 13th in Winston-Salem. And you can find out more information about both of these on October the 9th in Charlotte, Winston-Salem, November the 13th. Farr Curlin, Duke Divinity School. He's going to be with us on November the 13th in Winston-Salem, and he's going to be speaking about life and gender from a biblical worldview, or life and sex and gender from a biblical worldview. And that seems to be a large part of what's going on the cultural landscape today. And the idea of just aiming higher when it comes to those things. We don't have to settle for the status quo. We don't have to settle for what the world is offering. We can aim higher when it comes to life and choosing life and focusing on life and protecting and defending life, but also telling children that and adults and people who are struggling with these hard issues of gender and sexual identity that you can aim higher, you can choose better, and God has a purpose and plan for your life. So I'm excited about both of those.
Exactly, because God has raised him up. He's a hospice and palliative care doctor at Duke. So he's part of Duke Medical Center and part of Duke Divinity School. And he's bringing these concepts. What is Christianity? What does it look like to be a Christian in these? And of course, in that his everyday practice, he's looking at end-of-life sanctity of human life, a perspective, but he's also helping, as you say, with the whole, from beginning of life to the end of life, and then the things that are happening in between. And God has given him a heart and a mind to help us, and in particular, he's helping to train the next generation of doctors how to think and treat your patients, interact interpersonally with others from a biblical Christian perspective. It's, again, I think will be exciting to hear what he has to share.
Absolutely. So you can find out more information about our Charlotte and Winston-Salem dinners on October the 9th and November the 13th by clicking the link or visiting our website to learn more about those. Some sad news today, the date of our recording, we're recording on August the 21st, Thursday. We learned this morning of the passing of, I think, a pillar of faith in the 20th and 21st century here in America, James Dobson, 89 years old when he passed away on Thursday of this week. Impacted a lot of us in our lives. Of course, a generational divide here, but nonetheless, that's not. I've called people old twice now in the last couple of videos, but nonetheless.
Old isn't bad in the Bible, though.
I'm not picking on anybody, or I'm going to get eaten by a bear. Anyways, I think there's so much that he gave us. Not only did he give us the movement as we know it today through the founding of Focus on the Family, Alliance Defending Freedom, another one of his brain children, and then what eventually became known as FPA and the FPC movement, which we are one of those 40 across the nation. I think he impacted families across. I mean, Focus on the Family for generations. Jerry, how has he influenced and impacted you in your life?
Well, in a lot of ways, but because at one point I drove a bit in my work, and so I'd listen to their radio broadcast.
Turn your hearts toward home. Yeah.
A quick overview of his life,
Yeah.
which I take as an encouragement for all of us. God works through each of us in unique ways. But it just as you said, it's incredible how many ways. I mean, I think he started out as a psychologist,
Yeah.
saw how important families were, foundational relationships, and realized, wait a minute, I need to reach more people. God gave him a vision for focus on the family,
Yep.
a ministry to reach out across this country and eventually across the world. And then he saw, well, there are also policy issues that affect the family. Helped, as you say, start Family Research Council, policy councils across the country, and then saw the legal impact of a lot of what was happening on families, helped start
Yep.
Alliance Defending Freedom. It is absolutely incredible all the ways that God ministered through him all through his life.
What was your favorite of his books?
Well, the title that always that I can't ever get out of my head is Parenting is Not for Cowards. And I hate to say, I never read the book, and I thought all I needed was that title. I probably could have I know I could have benefited more by actually reading it, but I quickly realized when you become a parent and all of a sudden you're faced with decisions, what is the right and loving thing for me to do right now? And I think instead of going around the corner and saying, well, maybe this will just go away, is no, we need to just step in, try to say, how can I be a loving parent right now in this challenging situation? And I don't mean there's anything within my family.
Parenting is challenging, let's be honest.
And I'm sure being a child of a parent is challenging.
Yes, yes.
And Dr. Dobson helped with all those different aspects.
Yeah, absolutely. My favorite book was Bringing Up Boys. As the dad of 3 boys, just how we pour into the next generation, and especially into our sons. I think an extremely valuable resource for anybody who has sons. Our prayers are with Miss Shirley and the rest of the Dobson family, as well as Jim Daly and the focus on the family as they go through this time of loss. Our prayers are certainly with you. Speaking of prayers, at the time of this recording, Hurricane Erin is brushing up against the eastern coast, the eastern coastal communities of North Carolina. And so our prayers are with those coastal communities as the storm surge and rain and wind influence and affect those communities.
Yeah. You know, and it's one more example. It's amazing to watch how God has worked in people's lives, you know, in hurricanes. I mean, we typically think about the coast, and then all of a sudden in the mountain area, the devastation there that's people are going to be working through for years, but how people have stepped forward to be there to help families and individuals who are facing the challenges that come with and after a hurricane. And as you say, right now, there's one, it didn't even have to get to the coast. It's the impact of the storm was so powerful that what the water has done. So as you say, Mitch, it's a time to be praying for our neighbors, but also asking God, how can we help, whether it's making contributions or going there in person to help with cleanup and various things. But it's been another wonderful witness how God is continuing to work in the midst of challenges like storms, hurricanes.
Yes. Well, thank you for watching this week's weekly update video. We'll continue to let you know about things that are happening right here in the state of North Carolina. To learn more information about who we are, what we do, and how you can be a part of our team through financial contribution and giving to our ministry and organization, you can visit our website at ncfamily.org or just click the link at the bottom of this video or email, and you can be a part of what we're doing to make a difference in the lives of families here in North Carolina. For Jerry, I'm Mitch, and the rest of our team here at North Carolina Family, thank you for what you do to ensure that our state is a state where God is honored, religious freedom flourishes, families thrive, and life is cherished. God bless you all, and we hope that you have a great day.